people forget who I used to be. People love to just talk about David Goggins at 50. Oh, he's crazy, he's mean. No. I was a fat boy 2 times in my life. I cheated through school. I was abused. I'm still afraid. I was passionless, purposeless, and everything elseless. And you want to now think I'm a monster, I'm crazy? No. This motherfucker was invented because who I was going nowhere. So now this person who's here today is just a man that everybody can be. Not saying like me, go out and do crazy things, but if you want to make yourself better, you even said it, it's the truth. All you got to do is sit back in a quiet room for several days, maybe months, maybe years, and think about, how do I want to look, feel, live, and be? And then you put down the whiteboard and say, okay, better get to work.
A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer. And he goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my frappuccinos. Me, people, it's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it. So I can't make you do it, and nor do I have the time or energy to force you into that place that I know you have to be to do it. There's no luck in this game, man. There may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work.
I don't like running at all. I don't like running, I don't like biking, I don't like swimming. But to me, endurance sports is the only way you can really test yourself.
I was the lowest form on earth. And that was my mindset. So when I talk to people, I don't give them a get out of jail free card. I don't care about your past. I don't care if your mom is gone, your dad is gone. I don't care if you struggle in school or have whatever the hell. I don't care. Because God blessed me with all of that shit. It said, figure it was a test, and you have an opportunity to take the test or not take it. Because I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a truth teller. And people don't like that shit. So while people don't like me, I don't say anything negative towards anybody. So why don't you like me? I sat back and said, God, why people don't like me? This is crazy. I'm just trying to get you, like, to get off the couch, be better. But I know why you don't like me. Because I know why I didn't like myself when I was like you. When you're fat, you're lazy, and you have no ambition, and you're trying to find your purpose, this mythical shit called purpose. It's funny, man. You know, like you go to a shrink, the shrink's gonna sit there and say, man, you know what, we gotta help you find your purpose. And everybody's looking. The shrink's just collecting money.
I get up real early in the morning, 3 o'clock, and I usually get a run in anywhere from 10 to 15 miles, grab breakfast, bike in 25 miles into work. And at lunchtime, most of the time I'll run 5 to 6 miles. And around 5:30, I'll bike back home, 25 miles. And then if I get home and I feel good, I'll run again. I know it's not the correct way to train for any event, but it's just how I do. I like testing myself every day. To make it through SEAL training, you don't have to be the best. You just need to be consistent and really mentally tough. And just like with the Ironman, you don't need to be the best biker or the best swimmer or the best runner. You just need to be consistent and, be able to mentally get through all those challenges. I just want to go out here and see what I have against some of the best athletes in the world, because the best athletes in the world are in the Ironman.
So I prioritize trying to win the battle in the morning. So I always win the battle in the morning. So I get morning time, every morning I go for a run. That's the first thing I do every morning. Haven't taken a day off of running since December 2016. Every day, up in the morning. So I also stretch out every day for about 2 to 3 hours. Every day. I've missed 2 days in about 5.5, 6 years. So that's just my routine. And about 4 days a week, I'm in the gym hitting the weights. Because you can't just be a runner. So this is every single day. The monotony of my life, but this is what builds discipline. And not everybody, I'm not telling everybody to do this, but this is my lifestyle. This is how I build self-discipline. I run these races to raise money for fallen soldiers' kids to go to college. But there's also another reason why I do it. I like to see what I'm made of, see exactly if there is a limit to the human soul. Before I start a race, I actually imagine myself going through all my little checkpoints. I'm imagining all these different emotions and things I'm gonna go through. So when it happens, it just flows. All this imagery is so important in life. If you can see yourself doing something, you can do it. If you can't see yourself doing it, usually you can't achieve it. Broken, but you have to learn how to fail. Because I'm gonna explain this to you. I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days, a lot of setbacks. So I was just failing. I kept failing and kept failing and kept failing. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. And what that means is when I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast. So the big thing is know that if you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? And you got to teach yourself that. But the biggest key to success in anything you do is you got to have an unlimited supply, this drive and passion. And it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days and all those days you don't want to do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything. So to do that, you have to come into work, and work is whatever your work may be, ready to go. And what that means is you may have failed miserably yesterday, but you come to work like, people are like, man, you just lost everything. How the hell are you this damn motivated? Because this is what it takes. This is what it takes. And you got to get it from wherever you can. Whether you make up this illusion of your life or this false reality that gets you motivated, whatever gets you motivated, it's got to be here at the tip of your brain at all times. Because in those dark moments, you got to pull it out. So that's the big thing for me, man. I was always fired up at all times.
God didn't put that purpose anywhere. He put it in one location he knows you ain't gonna find it. He didn't put it up on a mountaintop or down in the ocean. He put it in you. He knew good and well it takes a courageous mother side that soul of yours and conquer those demons to find your purpose. And it ain't easy. So all I am is a truth teller, man. And people don't like the truth. I changed my life. I went through, the only person in the history of that damn training school to go through 3 hell weeks in 1 year. I knew I had to be like them to be the best on the planet Earth. They set the better, not me. I just met it. So when I got in there, why I became so hated, because I realized You fuckers are just like the old me. You went through 6 months in training, got that gaudy ass trident and said, we're good. I said that. So, when you don't join the crowd and you don't join the team and you don't care if 2,000 fucking Navy SEALs don't like you and you run your mouth every day of your life and you run into work and you PT hard every day to set the standard that they set, and you push them to a level because I was in charge of PT. Goggins, this ain't Hell Week. I go, why don't you go tell that to the civilians that kiss your ass every day? Tell them how you really feel. Tell them that shit, because they believe that you're God. Because I believed you were God. Now that I'm in here, I see that guess what you are? You ain't God, that's for damn sure. When I got the Navy SEALs, and all this shit started coming out about Navy SEALs, lying about this lying about that lying about leaving the damn Air Force Combat Controller up there. Just Google the shit, okay? I was like, oh, I'm not alone anymore. You guys just can't come online and say David Goggins didn't deploy, which he did. David Goggins didn't go to combat, which he did. David Goggins was one of the best in his platoon, which I was. And this ain't me talking shit. These are the fucking, when everybody turns against you and you are all alone, you put humble on that shit. There ain't no more humble on that shit. That's just the damn truth. And guess what the truth is?
And out of nowhere, I get this text message from Cameron. He's like, hey, are you gonna be in Vegas this weekend? I'm like, shit, man. So what he did was he spot checked me. Spot checking somebody is basically out of nowhere. You just call him up out of the blue and say, I'm coming in town. We're gonna get a quick workout in. So he's checking me to see if I kept in shape. So we are now over 10 miles in to a 20+ mile run. And hey, these are the kind of friends you want. You don't want the friends that, protect you. No. You want the friends that call out and say what's going on.
You need a mission. You don't need inspiration. You need obsession. That's why when they ask, why are you so crazy? You tell them, I'm trying to be the best for you. Not because it's easy, not because it's fun, because this is who the hell I am. When you quit, your mind shuts down, the door closes, you live with regret. But when you say, no, I stay in this pain.
Normal people with normal minds can't understand that. So then you become a liar or this and that. But now I got to the point in my life, I'm like, yourself, dude. If you don't believe it, go ahead. But I don't talk about a lot because I know what I've done and I know what the mind can do and where it can take you. I've experienced it over and over, and my mom has seen it over and over and over again to the point where it's almost like I can't even believe sometimes, but I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to push myself to that limit and see what happens.
There you go.
That's the only reason. They have already put their cap on their success in life. And that's why most people aren't sitting where you're sitting, you're sitting where I'm sitting. You never capped yourself. You might have, and if you did, you took it off. People cap themselves. They look at somebody, and because their mind can't imagine it, they then start talking shit. He has to be doing this, or he has to be doing that. There has to be some trick, there has to be some potion. This is bullshit. No, it's because you cannot allow your mind to open up for the possibility of it can be done. Which is why you being people are where they are today. Because you've shackled your mind to have limits. And everybody has a limit, but find it first. Haven't found it yet. Haven't found it yet.
Google David Goggins, get all the facts about who I am. And you'll see that's exactly who the fame is. A guy that's gonna push you every day of your life, whether you like it or not. And I push myself that way. So what I put in that book, partial truth. The real truth is, when you're a Navy SEAL and you choose, fucking Navy SEAL. When you choose to be special, when you choose to be different, it looks like it sucks every day of your life. And if it doesn't, you chose the wrong job. It's not 6 months and then move on. It's the rest of your life. It's a sacrifice, because when I chose to be that, so I guess I'm gonna die suffering, because that's what these guys are all about. And I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not busting out names. I'm not saying any of that, but that's the truth. And that's all I gotta go by. I'm an energy person. So when I come out in the audience, I make them yell as loud as they can. It's not for me. It does help me out because it gives me more. It lets me know that they are ready to learn. They're engaged. They want to be here. That scream is telling me I want to hear what you have to say. But it's also telling me a lot about them. It's also telling me that they are motivated, that they are fired up, that they are driven. That is my entire life. If I have the wrong people in my life, whether they're family, friends, old relationships, and you bring that negative energy to my life, it's hard enough for me to wake up and find that dog and then to unleash that dog. If I wake up in the morning time, I'm thinking about, damn, man, I got my dad, my mom issues, my girl issues. That dog doesn't really want to wake up anymore. I only have so many. So you have to be really aware of the energy that people bring to your life. And I call it, you got to shit can. You got to be ready to shit can people, man. And in a minute, as fast as they come in your life, you have to be ready to get them out of your life. If you realize they are not the right people to help you succeed, to help you excel, they have to be gone.
These haters, they know who you are, but you don't know them. There's a reason behind that. You've done something amazing. They've done nothing. Period. Which is probably can hate your ass. That's right. Where you going? What do you want to do with your life, bro? Like you saw David Goggins, and because now you want some followers, I'm going to imitate David Goggins. I'm going to be a big old fat white dude.
That's right.
That runs and spills a bunch of shit. While it may be funny, but you go. You look like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
You look going, bro.
Not very long or
Like
far.
life right now needs to really be kicking you in the back of the head saying, look, man, our time frame is done. Because what people don't get about life is up until you're about 30, you're fucked. You know what you're doing? You're kind of just scrambling around unless you have good direction. Then you might figure it out from 30 to 50 something, maybe 60, and then the back half, you're like, so 2/3 of your life you suck. So the more you fuck up that middle part, from 30 to 50, 40 to 60, ish, you only got about a good 25 years of like, man, I'm killing it out here. People don't get that. So you're around out here, running around your shirt off, and you're in that window now of like, you're starting to waste time, bro. You're starting to waste time. So that's how I feel about it.
You have to get back up quickly when you fall. That's the mindset in everything you do. Like if you want to be great, you have got to be that person who gets up fast. I mean fast. Don't even think about, oh, I failed. Once you get up though, you have to go through and you have to kind of piece that failure so you can learn from that. But if you stay on the ground too long and let that mind creep in, the mind's gonna always find the path of least resistance, which is we're not good enough. Everybody's mind. If you can't get that marathon knocked out, you get the AT, maybe I wasn't made for this. Maybe I wasn't made for that. That's where the mind is conditioned to go because it has wife, kid. It has so much going on that once it feels stressed, I got enough in here. Let's go this way. Because this way, I got too much. It's protecting you. You got to take off that governor and say, follow me to make your day better. Follow me to change life. And that's the whole point about it. Like, there's nothing that gets me more mad. Oh my God, David Goggins, man, you're amazing. Every day I watch you, every day I listen to you. And you're some fat, nasty, lazy mother. So guess what I tell them? I obviously didn't do my job right. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Like I said, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a truth teller.
There's a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, like I discovered something that some people have, but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need great parents. You don't need like a private school. You don't need to have this humongous GPA and all this other shit. What you need is the one thing I talk about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. This isn't like some 5-step process where if you do these 5 steps, you're going to end up with this magical world. No, I'm basically teaching you how to callous over your victim's mentality. I'm teaching you how to, like I did 67,000 pull-ups in training for the pull-up record. I was seriously callousing my hands to protect them. What I'm trying to do with people is teach them how to find more themselves to where they empower themselves. I'm all about the underdog. So that's all that. So that's what the book's all about, man. It's all about having that step process, and I had to share this with people.
There's no motivation. Motivation is great. Like all of us, like some of us right now, they have it. But what makes a winner is you realize that motivation is a temporary. When you are driven, you're looking for every single crumb. Like my refrigerator is never full. And I have a dog at home, an English bulldog. Anything that falls on the floor, it eats everything. Everything. And when I see that, that's the mentality that I want. I take everything that makes me feel a certain way and I use it for fuel. And that's how you stay driven. But some people don't know how to get there because why? They just live in this mediocre motivation. Like, I got to hear David Goggins for the rest of my life. What happens when that shit turns off? What happens when Andy Elliott gets turned off? What happens when your wife no longer is tired of talking to you? So every year I go to Canada and I smoke jump. I smoke jump 4 months out of the year. So I go out there, I make $12 an hour. I'm digging line. I'm just out there just sucking it up. I lose millions of dollars a year just to go smoke jump, to keep that mentality. I gotta put myself back at scratch. I've been to the top of Mount Everest, not to the tippy top, probably 1,000 times in my mind. The second I wanna plant that flag, I just stumble right back down. Because it's that journey getting to the top of that thing is where I get all my knowledge from. All my power, all my dog, all my savage, all my hunger comes from those altitude sickness. When you're climbing and it gets real cold that day, it gets cold that night, that's when you start to build those calluses. That's when you start to your hands don't rip anymore, man. Your mind doesn't rip anymore. You can put me at the bottom. I'm gonna figure out a way to get to the top. It's just how you talk to yourself. And when you get to the top, how you talk to yourself is very different than when you're climbing to the top. So I like the climbing to the top mindset. I don't like the flag mindset. No, I haven't arrived ever. When I first started my journey, alone, couldn't emulate anybody, couldn't follow anybody, didn't know anybody. I figured out who I wanted to be, and I realized along this path I'm gonna fail a lot. I'm gonna fail more than I succeed. So guess what the first thing I did was? I figured out how to fail. How to fail was the first task that I put myself through in life because I knew I was a fat, lazy piece of shit. And for me to get to the other side of that, I'm gonna fail and fail and fail. So I better learn the proper ways on how to fail. And how that looks is when you know you're going to fail, you have to know how to get back up with the right mindset quickly. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't train yourself how to fail, because if you're out here in business, you're out here wanting to be a Navy SEAL, Ranger, or business person, and you're going for lofty goals. Like, it took me 3 times to get the pull-up record. It took me 3 times to become a Navy SEAL. I took the ASVAB test 5 times because I was so damn dumb. So when you're going in something, and you're like, look, man, I come from average background. I have an average mindset. I have an average physical physique. I have no talent. I can't jump out of the gym. You got to realize, I want to be the richest or the best athlete in the world. You better take down notes on how failure is going to be a big part of your life. Not saying you're not going to get there. You will get there if you have conquered how to conquer failure. Because only the greatest of the great realize, I have to conquer failure. And what that means is, like I said, how can I move past this quickly and not let it derail me and say, oh, I'm just not good enough.
I always remember that, when I was younger in life, things that were hard or difficult, you sometimes back out of and you quit and you wake up the next morning just feeling horrible. And for me, it's a feeling that I will never experience again. I'd rather leave it all out there or not go out there at all. I don't care what place I come in, but chances are I'm gonna come in pretty good because I try my hardest. In a sport like this, everybody wins. Somebody may cross the finish line first. You're that much happier if you do. But in this sport of ultra, of suffering like everybody has to, you win. Just crossing the finish line, you win.
I'm a man. So I offend a lot of other so-called men. Just to cut to the chase, all right? It took a lot for me to be a man. It's the hardest thing a person can ever do in the world is be a man. Real dude. From working out, to eating, to family, to doing all the shitty fucking shit, you ain't happy a lot. A lot. So the shit that people want to talk about, oh man, I ain't happy a lot. All right? I ain't supposed to be. So when you live that way, and people know you ain't from lying, and they saw the work you put in, it makes the mother feel an alpha. It makes the alpha feel a little bit weird around you. So after a while, when you exceed the standards of the military, exceed the standards of Navy SEALs, and you're constantly going to this direction, you're some fat, dumb black dude couldn't swim. Now you exceeding the standard, it starts to rub some people the wrong way. And I would tell people about it. You're gonna see my face. I'm not gonna cower. I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna bring my shit because I earned that. So that's one thing as a man. That's what sucks as a man. You know how nervous that was for me to sit back and know I'm gonna possibly have a whole community coming at me? Think about it. I'm one dude. And I'm attacking a whole bunch of fuckers. That's why it's easier just to shut up.
Throughout the years, I developed often rewarded. Like mediocrity is almost the standard. And for me, if you live that way, that's where you could be at. So let's say you have 10 people. You have 10 people and all of them are mediocre. And you beat those 10 people in a race or at work, whatever it may be. You're really still mediocre. What we do in life is we set our standards to everybody else. What we do in life is we look at what someone did before us. We look at a standard. I don't look at anybody's standard. I set my own standard. And how I became this, whatever people call the hardest man on the planet, is I literally set my own standards. I started to reinvent the wheel for myself. I didn't follow the crowd. Whatever the crowd was doing, I didn't follow. I did what I had to do to get where I had to go. And in doing that, that's where true growth is finding yourself. I'm not trying to be like Michael Jordan or be like Tiger Woods or anybody else. I'm trying to be like David Goggins. And through that, you can find out what you're made of. And you are trying to conquer yourself. And that's how I got this title. My motto is show no weakness. At the start line and in between like miles 60, 70, 80, and 150, when I cross the finish line, I don't look pretty much the same. I much rather, fool the competition and go out there and they're like, man, Goggins looks so strong. But inside, I'm just broke down. In a race that's so long, you hit several walls. And every time you hit a wall, it's a big deciding factor in that race or in your life if you're not running. And you have a decision to make. Either you can stop at that wall or you can go parallel left or parallel right. You're looking for that door. And when you get to the door, you have another decision to make. Should I open it or should I keep it closed? If you keep it closed, you made the decision to quit. If you open that door, you made a decision to carry on and continue on with your journey or your mission, wherever you're on. And I always open that door because once you open the door and you go through it, your mind resets and it gets you a few more miles.
Most of this generation quits the second they get talked to. You did this wrong, or they get yelled at. It's so easy to be great nowadays because everybody else is, most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. People have a hard thing to understand. I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, it doesn't anymore, is people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's a life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school. So guess what? I was dumb as That's what 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. That's what people understand. By me running, I am callous in my mind. I'm not training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is gonna throw at me, because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just gonna crumble and you're good for nobody. You said I can be me. The second you said I can cuss and be me, and cussing, people say, man, you cuss all the time, why? Well, I hate to say it, the best way for me to get how I feel across, I can't sit here and say, you know what, yeah, I went through Hell Week and man, it was really hard. No.
I can't even describe it to you how you feel when you know you're gonna complete the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. But the second you realize you're not gonna give up, your body gets back in tune again and you're ready to go. I have those mental blocks all through the race, but that's when I smile too. I signed up for that race to see what kind of decision I'm gonna make. And that's why I do it. And usually it's the decision to keep on going forward. I have to experience life, and that's how I experience life. I started doing this triathlons and endurance sports, ultra runs, just to test my soul, to see what I'm about, to see in a 150-mile race at mile 75 when I feel really bad. That's when you know. That's the only time you can find out what the human body is all about, what you're made of, to find out limits to myself, limits to the human soul. And every day I'm trying to see if I have limits. Well, as of right now, I've been riding the bike now for 2 hours. I have another hour and 12 minutes left. No, I do not like to run. I don't like to even exercise. Only reason why I do this is to raise money for a foundation. It's called Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Guys in special ops who died, this foundation gives full tuition for their kids to go to college. And the only way for me to raise money, I can do this, different ways, like car washes or whatever, but people respond to people suffering. People respond to pain, so you gotta do painful things. And usually painful things are things that require you to run far distances or bike far distances or whatever. When you're 280 and you don't run and you're on pavement, your metatarsals start to break. Your ankles start to break. You start getting stress fractures. So that's what happened to me. I just became the biggest loser. My first run was a 1/4 mile. Every day, I ran, I swam, I worked out, I did everything I could. Whenever I had free time, I was working out. And I lost 105 pounds in 2.5 months.
There's a war happening right now. Not outside, inside your head. And the enemy isn't fear. It's not pain. It's not laziness. It's your own mind telling you, stop, slow down, stay comfortable. Most people, they fold right there. They hear that voice and they obey. They stop when it hurts. They back off when they're tired. They quit when it sucks. But not you, because when you say, I'm not going anywhere, that's when your mind opens up. It expands. It grows. That's the 40% rule. Most people live at 40%. You keep going when your body says no. You tape the pain, strap it down, and keep fucking moving.
We all have one thing in common. We are here, stuck in the game of life, often subject to the whims of forces beyond our control. But we never train for it. We dedicate ourselves to external goals, whether they are rooted in fitness or school or work, as if they are isolated events, somehow disconnected from the totality of our lives, when everything we do is an opportunity to get better at the game of life itself. My life and my commitment to do what needs to be done, I am a student of life. I carry around a notebook. I keep logs. I study all the upswings and down currents of my days as if the final exam is tomorrow, because we all have an exam tomorrow. Whether we realize it or not, every interaction, each task is a reflection of your mindset, values, and future prospects. It's an opportunity to be the person you've always wanted to be. You don't have to have survived trauma or become a physical beast to train for life. We've all been challenged physically, emotionally, and intellectually, and we've all failed. Don't be shy about digging through your lost archives. No matter how irrelevant those experiences seem now, they count because they were all dry runs for whatever comes next. This awareness that everything we do is merely training for the next episode is like a filter that expands your perception. When you get assigned something at work or school that you don't want to do, step into a conflict you didn't see coming, someone close to you gets sick or dies, or a relationship falters, you will see these challenges as new chapters in life's textbook, which you can study to make sure that the next season of loss won't be such a kick in the knees. Not just for you, but more so for the people around you. We all know that training is required to make the cut in competitive sports. Get into the best schools and compete for the most coveted jobs, because that's what it takes to be prepared.
I'll run about 10 to 15 miles. I don't have a pacer. It takes me probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours, whatever I'm doing. Well, the reason why I chose to do Badwater was I was sitting at home and I Googled the 10 hardest events in the world to do. And up came the Badwater 135. Me against the elements. It's 120 to 130 degrees, 135 miles across the hottest spot in the world. Like, all you have is you and your thoughts, and it's a long time to think about it. I choose to keep going forward, but you get to a spot in that race where you don't know what to do, and that's when you find out what you're made of.
When you think that you are done, you're only 40% into what your body's capable of doing. And that's just the limits that we put on ourselves. You're never gonna really know how I feel. I'll never really tell you the truth. I'm always gonna feel good. I wanna feel and show you no weakness.
That's my everyday life. So I don't just train like an hour or so. I train until something is uncomfortable, and then that's when you know who you are. My life doesn't have a finish line. So when I cross the finish line of the Ironman, it doesn't matter, because I know that, 2 or 3 weeks from now I'll be doing something else to put my body through more pain.
The one thing I'll say right now to people listening to this, a real person, a real alpha, a real go-getter, they ain't saying shit about nobody. That's why you will never, ever hear me dropping somebody's name, running my mouth about somebody. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through. I didn't wear the shoes you wore when you were a kid. I didn't grow up in your house. I didn't have your family. I don't know shit about you. So guess what I do? Shut the up. Because real men don't say shit. Because first of all, we're too busy trying to grind and be better.
Correct.
But nowadays, there's not many real men who live by that creed of like, you know, if you're on social media mouth and shit, you're just a bitch.
Correct.
You're honestly, and that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are a bitch. Real men ain't doing it. Real men don't care about that gossipy bullshit. Get to work, man.
Right.
That's it. What I was here to do as a man, and men may not even want to hear this. It sounds so barbaric. That's the pride in what you have as a man, is that you see your mom, you see your girl, you see your kids, you see all this shit. You see them doing well. That's all a real man wants. They don't give a about how they dress, how they look, what they're driving. They don't give a shit. Because why? Your trophies are your family, and they're all walking around. Every man that sees you, they see you walking in with some sweatpants and shit, but they know your family's balling because you put the time in, you put the effort in, you put the work in. And as a man, we don't want none of that shit. We just want respect. And that's what men don't give up about now. But the more thing I want is for my family to look at me and say, that's the man. Right there. And men don't have that. They don't know what that feels like. So until you know what that feels like, you're never going to seek that feeling of when things are bad, my family looks to me. It feels amazing. When anything goes wrong in my family, if there's a flat tire, they don't call AAA, they call David and Goggins. Mom's got a problem, David. My mom's sick, David. She don't call it David. Anybody, they call David, and that's earned. That's a good feeling. And I would challenge men to try that. Try that. Try that for a couple of days. Try working those 20-hour shifts and coming home and having your girl have a meal at home. I guarantee your girl looks at you very different. Every day you come home and you're dirty, or you're just tired, and she knows you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, and then when you go to work, she's sleeping because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you look at her, she knows what kind of man she's got. Your mom knows, your dad knows what kind of son they have. They don't know that feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. Money can't buy it, nothing can buy it. So it's just something that we almost can't teach our kids anymore because the world is influencing people from all over. Once they leave your house, you got this weak family, that weak family, and that weak family saying, why is your dad like that? Why are you doing that? So it's hard to keep it, man. That takes your damn soul, rips it inside out, and then they say, now we're going to start. It allows me to express where I was at a point of my life. If I don't give you all of me, why the hell am I here? Why? How will you learn from me? People take so much offense to me. You will never learn from people if we always tap dance around the truth. We tap dance around the truth by finding the right words so I don't hurt you because you have thin skin. No, tighten up, people. The only thing more infectious than a good attitude is a bad one. The more you dwell on the negative, the weaker you feel, and that weakness infects those around you. However, the reverse is also true. I knew that if I could control my attitude and redirect my attention, I'd gain control of the entire situation. I was disappointed, but I wasn't surprised that my knee gave out. Now, it was on me to learn what I could from the setback, adapt, and move forward. It's an unwritten natural law of the universe that you will be tested. You will get smacked in the f***ing face. A hurricane will land on your head. It's inevitable for all of us. Yet, we are not formally taught how to handle unexpected adversity. We have sex education, fire drills, active shooter drills, and curriculum on the dangers of alcohol and drugs. But there is no rug just got pulled out under. You class. Nobody teaches how to think, act, and move when disappointment, bad news, malfunction, and disaster inevitably strike. All the advice floods in only after we are already lying dazed on the canvas, which means it's up to you to to cultivate your own strategy and have the discipline to practice it. Mine is simple. No matter what life serves me, I say, Roger that. Most people think Roger that simply means order received. However, in the military, some people infuse Roger with a bit more intention and define it as received. Order given, expect results. When used that way, it is so much more than an acknowledgement. It's an accelerant. It bypasses the over-analytical brain and stimulates action because in some situations, thinking is the enemy. I'm not suggesting that you should follow every order like a robot. After you've been knocked down, it's important to take some time to understand what happened and strategize your way forward. But you also must act. If you stay stalled out, sifting through the wreckage, you may find that you've been swallowed by it. We all love comeback stories because they teach us that setbacks have the power to propel us forward to our greatest successes. But your fate depends on your approach. After an injury or failure, your mind wants to either spin out into overthinking or fall back into numbness and complacency. And it takes practice to short circuit that process.
A lot of people say teamwork and stuff like that. Teamwork is big. But I learned that you have to be a good individual first. You have to triple down on your weaknesses, because a lot of times, like, you always count on your buddy next to you to help you out. Sometimes that buddy's not going to be there. You got to make sure that you are a jack of all trades and a master of all trades. And that's one thing, you got to have your buddy's back, they got to have your back, but you got to work on yourself every single day. And that's one thing that the military has to really triple down on. It's something that we're missing nowadays a lot, is that total accountability of every day. Going back to boot camp in your mind. You may have grabbed, boot camp sucks. SEAL training sucks. All these things suck, and people are so happy to get out of it. But that's what makes you good, is the military teaches you these great codes, ethics, morals, values. You got to continue to work on those. Like everything, it's a muscle. You stop going to the gym, you stop running, you get weak. The military teaches you these great values of strength and honor and code and all these other things. But what we do is we don't keep up the discipline of all that stuff, and we lose it. So the one thing I learned is to not lose that thing, that boot camp, SEAL training, whatever you go through, whatever your A school is, whatever it is, keep that discipline up.
I believe, everything I try to do is kind of defined by excellence, but I don't think I ever reach excellence myself, because I have my standards of my life are really high. So I don't think I ever reach it, but I try to every day.
There you go. There you go. Energy. Let it out. 7, 8, 9, 10. A machine here. There you go. Nobody works like David in this house. 13. Come on.
I'm never happy and satisfied with one thing I do. It's always a continuous journey.
14. Come on. 15. Shut that muscle down. 16. Come on. Get it. 17.
They don't know me, son.
Get it. 18.
They don't know me, son.
And then all my races, they just never end. They just kind of fall in together. It's like one big journey that won't end until I die.
Get it. 19.
They don't know me, son.
Yeah. 20. You got some more in you. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22.
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
That's you, buddy. Come on, 23. Come on, 24. One more, David.
Who's
one more?
gonna carry the boats?
Some SEALs died in Afghanistan, and I just wanted to find a way to raise money for their families. So I found a foundation, and I had to pick something to do. And most SEALs, we don't just go out and sell hot dogs and hamburgers or have a car wash. I had to find something kind of medieval to do. So I Googled the 10 hardest events in the world. That's how I started running. Ever since then, I've been running and trying to test myself.
If you could define happiness for you, what would that be?
It's overcoming yourself at all costs, whatever that takes. To be at the point of your life where you don't care about being judged. You can be in a room of 1 million people and they all hate you. And you walk in and you go like this. Not because you're angry at them, because you know yourself inside and out, and you know that you've put yourself through hell to be where you're at today. You've walked the walk, you've talked the talk, and you've walked the walk. And that's, to me, what it's all about. It's all about putting those boots on the ground and getting after it every day. And once you do that, you have a feeling about yourself that no one can ever take away or even understand.